Happy New Year, everyone. It's the beginning of 2023. We've had a reasonable start in the first week and a half of the markets. Today, we're looking at the bottoming of stock markets. Now, the big key to remember here is that markets have already bottomed and started moving up before we've got any good news. It's always when the news is the worst, and it's always well before the recession is over. We might already be in a recession. I'm not trying to predict that we're in the bottom right now, but it could be close, or here's some signs to watch out for. Typically, you have a market cycle, and in red is the stock market and blue is the economy. What you'll see here is the markets usually bottom before we've exited our full recession. So at the top where we've got the markets have bottomed, we could be there, we might not, but what you want to look at is in the blue line here that's declining. This is when a recession's already started. So the news hasn't come in to confirm the last 6 months were a recession or the last 3 months. But as the market or as the recession is basically full blown at the worst of it, and once we start recovering out of it, guess where the stock markets are? We're well into our bull market. So this just goes to show that you want to actually be in the market when the news is the worst, because the stock market is a leading indicator. And when is the market top? Typically, once early part of the recovery, we're well into our good times, and the market kind of peaks when we're at the tail end of the economy growing. So we've been in a bear market since the beginning of 2022. So it's been a year. That's a long time. So we know we're in this part of the market here somewhere. Well, I guess the blue is what we're looking. Early recession? Sure. That means we're very close or the late stages of a bear market. And when would you want to buy? When the market's at the top or near the bottom? I can get in right here, dip a little bit more, and then take the ride up. Because what we miss out on is recessions are very painful, but the expansions, they're huge. Recessions can last a year, year and a half, sometimes 2 years. But the bull markets and the expansion can be 10 years, 3 years, 2 years. Basically, the gains outweigh the losses, and we as a society are so afraid of, hey, I don't want to be invested here. But then by the time this starts, it takes us a good chunk, maybe the initial 30% rebound we miss because we're waiting for the news to get good. This is where the news gets good, well after the market's already taken off. So up top, we see 67 months for expansion, 11 months for an average recession, right? So we've already been in a bear market for a year. I think we're in a good spot here. I mean, I could be wrong, but at the same time, same chart, market bottom, well before the recession is ended. Once we're recovering, we're going to already be near a market top. That's why you see people who wait till the news is good, they get in at the top. When the news is bad, they get out. So they sell low and buy high. The worst rule, or the most basic rule, is the opposite of that. Buy low, sell high. And again, we're going to go into the charts. This goes back to the 50s. The red is very painful, gets all the news, and lost in it is all this green here. In the 90s, we had a massive expansion. This was the last decade or so. The Great Recession in 2008 is here, and the tech crash, right? So we've been through worse in the last 20 years, and recessions are normal. What you're going to see on this chart is usually where this red mark is the bottom of the market. The gray is your recession. The S&P 500 is the blue line. Basically, it's too hard to tell here, but the reason I put a difficult chart is this goes back about 95 years to the Depression, and the market's always bottomed for the most part, except for 2001 here, and maybe one time in the 70s. No, 70s, same thing. 3 to 6 months before the recession finished, markets had bottomed. They're already well on their way. So don't wait for the news to be good. You want to be getting in now while the markets are very scary, because you will be rewarded 3 to 5 years down the road, maybe even 12 months. We don't know, but you know that you're buying at the cheaper end, and the end is in sight. So thanks very much. Have a great day.